Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday to you. I'm Shawn Petite, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so glad that you are here. Today, I'm doing some fun things, and back to my curiosity and experimenting and trying things, and so good, so good. I don't have anything new to tell you. I will tell you that any stencils that I use today will be on sale this week, which I'm sure there will be. And the supplies that I use will be listed on the blog, and the link to the blog is down below in the YouTube description box. Okay, I want to dive right in to what I'm going to be doing today. So this is Joan Mitchell, and she's one of the 9th Street women that I've talked about in previous videos, and I have loved kind of following the journey of these women and how their life was so absorbed by their art, more so probably than I would like, but they were truly committed to what they wanted, and they really had to fight for the right to be considered along with the men. So this book here is her life and story, basically, of all of her art. And let me just set this aside here for a second. So I've got marked a couple of spots. Now, her work is, I chose it because it challenges me. It's interesting, and yet it feels chaotic, her earlier work. And then she kind of went back and forth, and I think we all do that as artists. We change and grow and learn and try new things and different things like that. I do like some of her color combinations, but like this to me is really, really chaotic. And it's not something that I naturally gravitate to. But she did use a lot of different types of mediums, and she did explore pastels and charcoal and different things like that. So what I want to do is my job when I'm looking at other artists is to look at, okay, what do I like and what don't I like? And I'm going to put that back there. And I'm going to kind of tilt this up just a little bit because I know the glare. So this piece here, while I'm not necessarily fond of the coloring, the texture on here is fantastic. So I start to make notes when I'm going through this curiosity phase of, okay, what do I like and what don't I like? Texture. Those are the things that resonate with me. And I don't want to just naturally stick with the things that I naturally lean towards. I want to try and step outside my comfort zone and challenge myself to grow in different ways. Now, see, this feels better to me because it doesn't feel so chaotic. There's some calm space. So that's also informing me of the things that I want to see in my own work. I like the movement. I like the energy. I like the bold brush strokes. Again, this color, not maybe so much. There's bits of color in there that I'm like, yes, please. So I continue to, and I read the story. I read what she's using. I read, you know, she spent half of her life in Paris and half of her life in New York. And being part of both of those influential art scenes really influenced her work. And she's actually started out just like so many other artists. She went to art school, and she was influenced by other artists, and she started by doing the same traditional kinds of works that so many other artists did. This is a little bit of some Cubanism. She did portrait drawing, all those things that kind of you're influenced through school and different things like that. Then she embarks on her own, and this was at the time, the contemporary scene at the time of her, this was 1966, 1950 to 1960. She did a lot of this kind of work off and on. And so then as I progressed, this was 1970. this really speaks to me. The texture, the movement, and yet the blank space. The texture, the movement, and blank space. And so again, it confirms to me how I like to create and what inspires me. And so as I move through the pages of any book that I'm looking through other artists, I find more and more things that really speak to me. This is all pastels, which is a love of mine. And she's got poetry in it. And it just spoke to me. So I'm now looking at that kind of blank space, some of that movement, and yet some softness to it. And how do I achieve that? And where does this take me? And what can I do? And even including some of the words and things like that. So then, here's another example of some of her quieter pieces. And this is 1970. And so then, so much of her story and so much of her life, and there's so much to say. I highly recommend the book. It's really, really good. And I have pages and pages of her work, which is exciting. But I want to get to, because I starred these two pages, pastels. Okay, so this work of hers is called, what's it called? No Birds. No Birds. And during this part of her creating, and I'll skip back to this. This piece right here is a Van Gogh. It's this one. I blew it up so that you could see it. And what I learned was she was influenced by Van Gogh. His brushstrokes, those small brushstrokes, and the movement in his brushstrokes are what has influenced her in these works. So we all are learning from another. There's nothing new under the sun. We will grab parts of how someone creates. Now, this is nothing like Van Gogh would create, but she took those small movements and brushstrokes and made it her own. And that's my journey as I continue to grow as an artist, is to find bits and pieces of other works. So very much, this can be very much a Van Gogh-ish looking kind of thing, if she were to make it more so that way. But, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So this one, this is Van Gogh's, and it's called Wheatfield with Crows. And this one back here that I had folded out, what did I do with it? Oh shoot, I lost it now, didn't I? I was so good to mark everything. Where is it? Where is it? Let me find it. There it is. This one is a play on Van Gogh's, that Wheatfield with Crow. There's her Wheatfield, and it's titled No Birds, which I found really, really interesting. So here we've got Van Gogh's version, and we've got her version. And that's what our curiosity does for us. It expands our horizons and gives us a place to start our own exploration, our own journey. And I just enjoyed so much of her story. And she died young. She was only 67. And but she spent most of her time, well, she split her year between Paris and New York. And it took her a while to be recognized as the artist that she was. And that was pretty typical for the time. But because of the group of women that she was with and how persistent they were to continue to push and put their art out there, they were then really recognized, and she, was world famous. The other thing that she did was most all of her projects. Look how big those pieces are, those panels are. So, I have decided I'm just going to put that back in there. I made a couple of notes for myself. So I have decided to take bits and pieces from her and create my own style, my own version. I know I don't want all of this. This will be an underpainting because that's how I like to start. But I want that calm. I want to introduce some soft pastels. I want to take those bits and pieces and create my own version of that. And that's what we do as artists. We let the past artists, current artists inspire us, and we find out what we love about them. Because this color, maybe not so much this, but this here I really love. And the book cover itself with the violet and the kind of sienna color with a little bit of this really kind of dark magenta color. I love that. I love how it looks. So I will make those notes as I go to the canvas and I figure out where I will take this. It will be nothing like hers. Nothing. It will be calmer. I like this, the structure of this. And I think maybe it's this kind of tealy blue in there too. And this purple. See, that purple's drawing me. So maybe that's something that I need to focus on. Okay, so that's my plan for creating today. Let me show you a couple of things. Put that down here. So as I work big, I'm going to work big because she worked big. And back here, you'll see this canvas. This is a 24 by 30 canvas. I would have gone bigger, but I didn't have any bigger. So this is the biggest I have right now, so I'm going with it. I have put down papers because that's me. That's my style. I like the texture. I'm exploring right now. I'm exploring bold fonts and different things like that. I don't know yet how that will all work out. I'm still exploring it. Just like I will explore this style and see if, okay, this is something that will really resonate with me and it will become something that I will do on a regular basis. All of what we do as creatives is about choices. What choices are the choices of color and paper and things that we like. And how do we find what we like? We try it. We do it, we look at books, we check out things, we experiment. And it's all about those choices that inform our voice and our style. And that has been my whole year-long journey. And I will continue that, I don't know, maybe further than this year. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I feel like my ability to create and make decisions, my confidence has grown. And that's what happens when we do these kinds of experiments. Okay, so I have out here, this is an old cookie sheet that I have in my, I don't use it for cooking. It's for this purpose. I have a wet towel and you can see the water underneath there. I have a piece of parchment paper that I have put down. Because I'm working large like this will probably take me a couple of days. And so I have my palette out here. It's wet. This is what I would call a stay wet palette, homemade style. Now, when I put my paint out here, when I decide on my color palette, I'm already, through my discussions, I've already kind of thought about these colors because I'm drawn to them from her work. Now, this is not typically a color that I go to, but it can be the starting point. Then I can calm things down with more muted colors or softer colors or whatever it might be. But I'm willing to take the risk and start here and experiment a little bit. Ooh. I will put my colors out here. And then when I'm done with my painting session, I will cover them over with press and seal cling wrap. And that will keep it fresh for days and days and days, up to a week. depending on, and sometimes if I know that I'm going to be away from my palette for a little bit longer, I will spritz a little bit of water over the top of the paint that's already down and then put my clear wrap over it. It will stay. So I wanted to share that with you because I've had questions asked about your palette drying out and different things like that. This will keep it from doing that. I want to use bigger tools because I'm working bigger. I've got some palette knives. I've actually got a new trowel. What did I do with it? That's a good question. Anyway, you'll see me work with it because I'm going to get it out. But I've got bigger tools that I want to work with. Because I'm working big, I want to work with bigger brushes. And so the bigger I work, the bigger my tools get. The more paint I use, those kinds of things. So that's all that I know right now about what I'm going to be doing. I'll be using soft pastels and all of those kinds of things. So that is my journey today. And I don't have a real great deep meaning because a lot of times that's my story and that's how I create. But my story is growing and taking risks to do that. And this is a big risk. I'm risking this in front of you. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. It's going to be completely abstract, which I don't create in front of you. I create abstract landscapes, abstract florals, but this is way outside my comfort zone. And so I have no idea how it will turn out. But I'm willing to take the risk because I want to grow. I want to make those decisions as an artist and learn what I love and what I don't love, and be willing to make a painting that isn't great so that I learn the lessons and then I do it again, better and better and better. And the more we do that, the more confident we become. And that's a life story too, right? We never start out doing anything brand new like, a champion. We fumble around. And I'm willing to do that here and out there. And that's all I want to do today for you is encourage you to watch the video and then get up and go paint something. Get up and be courageous. Get up and be willing to make a mess. And then do it again and again and again. All right, my loves, I hope you enjoy today's process. I hope that, I don't hope anything. I hope that I just finish it. That's it. Because every single time I show up, there's something that I've learned. All right, my loves, have a wonderful Sunday. May it be restful and peaceful, and may you always, always know that you are loved.